Hey there and welcome. Do you ever feel like the English you learn sounds, I don't know, a little too much like it came from a textbook? You know, the real magic of a language, it really comes alive in those small, everyday moments. So today, we're going to dive in and unlock some of the most common phrases that native speakers use all the time without even thinking about it. Ready to make your English sound a whole lot more natural? Awesome. Let's get into it. We have all been there, right? You're right in the middle of a great conversation, and suddenly, your brain just hits a wall. You know exactly what you want to say, but that perfect, natural-sounding phrase just won't come to you. It's so frustrating. But hey, don't worry. Today, we're going to close that gap by looking at what people really say in their day-to-day lives.
So let's kick things off where most of our conversations actually happen, right at home. I'm talking about those casual chats you have in the kitchen while making coffee or just hanging out in the living room. These little interactions are really the building blocks of fluency, and we're going to make them sound totally effortless. Okay, picture this. It's a lazy Saturday morning. You and a friend decide, hey, let's make some pancakes. Sounds simple enough. The only tiny problem? One of you is pretty confident, and the other one, well, let's just say they're not so sure about the recipe. So one friend just starts grabbing ingredients, totally sure of themselves. Meanwhile, the other one is giving them that skeptical, sideways look. Are you sure you know what you're doing? It's just a classic, really direct way to show a little bit of playful doubt.
And the response is just perfect. The confident cook totally brushes off the doubt with a funny line about their YouTube certification, and then they drop our very first key phrase. Look, it's not rocket science.
And this is such a great phrase, you guys. When you say something is not rocket science, you're basically just saying, hey, this is not nearly as difficult as it might seem. You know, making pancakes? Definitely not rocket science. It's the perfect casual expression to downplay how hard something is. All right, let's switch gears to a situation that, let's be honest, we've probably all been in. It's Friday night, you're finally trying to unwind, and your neighbor's music is, well, it's shaking the pictures on your wall. So what do? Okay, so on one side, you've got this person just loving life, using slang like, this song is fire, to say it's incredible. And on the other side, you have the neighbor, who uses some really clever, dry humor to get their point across. It's a much more creative and way funnier way to say, hey, your music is way too loud. And this is usually how it ends, right? You get a polite but firm request. Could you please turn down the volume? Followed by a, let's say, slightly reluctant agreement. The main thing to notice here is just how simple and direct that language is. Okay, so we've handled things at home. Now let's step outside and talk about making social plans. This is where conversations get really interesting, because this is where you really start to see different personalities show up.
Ah, yes, the age-old question. So, where should we eat? We have all been there, stuck in this debate. Let's imagine two friends trying to solve this classic problem. Do you go for the exciting new place, or do you stick with an old, reliable favorite?
So, you've got the adventurous friend, right? The one who's always excited to try something new. They suggest a restaurant that's so new, nobody knows if it's any good. And they use the perfect phrase for it. We're the guinea pigs. It's just a fun, playful way to admit, hey, we're taking a bit of a risk here. But their friend? Nope, not interested. They shut it down with a simple, nah, I'm good. And then they drop our next key expression. Better safe than sorry. This is like the classic phrase for anyone who'd rather play it safe and avoid a bad experience. So there you have it, the two kinds of decision makers. You've got the guinea pig, who loves an adventure, and then you've got the better safe than sorry person, who prefers comfort and predictability. It's kind of a fun way to think about it, right? Which one sounds more like you? Now, let's move on to a scenario that can be pretty stressful. We're talking about trying to confirm plans with someone who, historically, hasn't been the most reliable person. And it's for an airport pickup. I mean, nobody wants to get left stranded, right?
Oh, you can just feel the stress in that line. By reminding their friend of what happened last time, they're making it really clear why they're worried. And that picture it paints, like a lost kid, wow, that really captures that awful feeling of being helpless and abandoned.
The friend tries to reassure them with a promise, but the person who got left behind before isn't buying it just yet. And they bust out this super common, super direct phrase to make their point. Just don't flake on me again. This is our key takeaway here.
So what does it mean to flake on someone? It's an incredibly common phrasal verb, and it basically means to be unreliable. If you make plans with someone and then you cancel at the very last minute, or worse, you just don't show up at all, yeah, you flaked.
It's a casual but pretty strong way to call someone out for breaking their promise.
All right, we've walked through some really great real-life scenarios. So, before we wrap up, let's do a quick fire round of a few more must-have expressions for your conversation toolkit. Think of it like a little bonus round.
First up, to work like a dog. This is a classic idiom that just means you've been working incredibly hard. So if a friend has to cancel plans because they're just wiped out, they might say, sorry, I can't make it tonight. I've been working like a dog all week. Next we have cutting it close. We have all done this. You know that heart-pounding moment when you hit send on a work email literally seconds before the deadline? That's a perfect example of cutting it close. Basically, you're leaving zero room for things to go wrong.
And for our last one, to hit the jackpot. Now this isn't just about winning money at a casino. You can use it for any time you get super lucky. You found the perfect apartment after looking for months? You hit the jackpot. You managed to get the last ticket to a sold-out concert? You totally hit the jackpot.
So, as you can tell, learning these phrases isn't really about memorizing definitions. It's all about understanding the situations and the feelings behind them. And hey, at the end of the day, it's not rocket science, right? So, here's my challenge to you. Which one of these new expressions are you going to try out in a real conversation this week? Go on, give it a shot. You've got this.